Well, it's a little bit of a different video today, but I wanted to share with you the stuff that happens behind the scenes of the farm, which is so hilarious to me because, in my opinion, the home is the core of everything. It's the core of life. And we spend a lot of time at home. We have little kids. And so naturally, the dishes sometimes pile up if you're in a hurry to get out the door. It's constant snacks and meals, and we make most of our meals here at home. And there's, never ending laundry. But on top of farm stuff, this is my life. It is caring for my family, and it's a very real part of my day to day. And so I wanted to share with you a few little tidbits on just part of how some of our days function. My house has been filled with daddy long legs. I don't know why there's so many spiders in our house. Ew. Be free outside, not in my house. As I mentioned, I think that the home is the core of everything. Something that I need to add, because it is the foundation of my life, is my faith in God. Now, before you fast forward, in the case that you want to hear nothing about someone else's belief, I ask you to stay for just a few seconds. I do not think that I have my life all together. I do not think that I am better than other people. I am a person who has made a mess of their life only to be rescued by God's Son, Jesus Christ. I know that talking about faith is kind of strange in today's day and age. If I receive backlash because of it, so be it. But because of believing that Jesus has rescued me from the depths of my sin and brokenness, I am a completely different person. My love and care for my family and friends are because of how He has changed me from the inside out. The way that I care for my animals is out of a desire to care for God's creation, through the good and bad. So when I say that He is the foundation of my life, I mean that entirely. My day-to-day involves raising 3 little kids, being a wife to my husband, household tasks, and yes, of course, caring for and raising animals. What some people tend to forget when we in an online place like YouTube is that we are people too. While I am taking a risk and putting myself out there for the public to see, I am truly no different than someone you might bump into in a grocery store. I really don't have as thick of skin as maybe I would like to have, but I believe that it allows me to be sensitive to other individuals on the other side of the screen. There's a good chance that I won't meet very many of the people who have stumbled upon my channel, but somehow we leave a lasting mark on each other's lives. I'm pretty much like any other stay-at-home mom out there. I also get behind with laundry. I often feel overwhelmed by the mess and chaos of our home, and I most definitely get stumped with the question, what am I going to make for dinner? While being a parent has its challenges, I can honestly say that through all of the challenges, it's totally worth it. Even if in the moment perhaps it doesn't feel like a good time. Aside from chores outside, feeding the goats and horses, pen cleanup, filling water troughs, milking goats, trimming hooves, and all the extras that come with farm life, I tend to spend a lot of my days at home. With the home being the hub of which everything else stems from, it needs to be cared for just as any other area of life. Meals still need to be made, groceries need to be shopped for, laundry needs to be washed, dried, folded, and put away. Children need baths, they need love and attention, snacks, snuggles, stories, and bedtime snacks. Most days, the messes left behind from a family of 5 can feel overwhelming. While I try my best to obtain some level of sanity with a functional home, some days it all gets away on me. Those are the days where I just have to start somewhere, anywhere. Set a timer for 10 minutes and blitz clean the kitchen, or some other task that needs to be tackled. In general, it's really just a matter of buckling down and just getting jobs done. I used to get really caught up on aiming for perfection, but in truth, that really isn't feasible with 3 kids ages 5 and under. So now I aim for improvement. I vacuum and mop the floors because that is part of maintaining a home. The floors likely will be covered in sticky spots or dirt or crumbs within 5 minutes, but really, that's okay. It's all part of the cycle of life at home. There are many areas in my home that could be improved, and as I am able, I tackle bits and pieces. Declutter and organize one closet one week, and maybe tackle the monstrosity of the mudroom another week. In all of our lives, there is this elusive thing called balance. I can't say that many of us have that figured out. How do we balance work and family and friends and fun and responsibilities? All I can say is this: in a world yelling at us to do more, buy more, have more, take a step back and really ponder what is important. It truly is about setting priorities. Instead of making a whole bunch of massive changes all at once, consider making one small change for a month and creating a healthy habit. Now, I'm talking to myself here because I often have things that need to change and things that need to adjust, but it just seems way too overwhelming to do it all at once. But over time, those healthy habits will completely change your life, and my life too. For us, we have made the sacrifice of having 2 incomes, for me being able to stay home with our children. However, we also do not take costly vacations or purchase fancy stuff to be able to make that happen. We often get bags of secondhand clothes for the kids, and to be honest, I think long and hard before buying new clothes for myself. Just a few weeks ago, I realized that I really needed some new clothes. After spending 5 years either pregnant or breastfeeding, nothing really fit the way it should. So finally, after lots of debate, off to Winners I went to find some comfortable clothes. Even then, I did not go crazy with spending a whole bunch of money. What's kind of funny is that we live in a society where a $6 cup of specialty coffee is cheap and a $6 a dozen for farm fresh eggs is too expensive. It really is about perspective, hey? Affordability is relative to each person's situation. I've had people tell me that they couldn't afford to buy healthy supplements only to spend that same amount of money on 2 meals eating out at a restaurant. I could add that it comes back to priorities again. What do you prioritize in your life? What do I prioritize in my life? Another luxury that we personally don't enjoy that often is eating out. While I can totally be a sucker for driving through Tim Hortons for an ice cap and some Timbits for the kids, Timbits are donut holes for anyone who's not Canadian, and hitting Wendy's for a quick lunch after running errands in town all morning. In general, we don't spend a ton of money on eating out. Wherever we find ourselves in life, I think we need to offer others understanding, especially if someone else doesn't live exactly like we have chosen to live. We are all different for a reason. How boring would it be if we were all carbon copies of each other? Whew, way to take a spice out of life. On this particular day, I was really running low on groceries, and so these are my last 2 eggs. And I hadn't really eaten a very good breakfast, and I was feeling all sorts of hangry. My baby was kind of hungry and cranky because she didn't have the best breakfast either. You would be astonished at the amount that affects your ability to think and process information if you do not nourish your body. So I finally just paused and I downed an egg or 2. I shared one with my baby, and finally I was able to think a little bit clearly. I put together a quick lunch, just boiled some smokies, and really just made do with what we had. That is kind of part of the joy of living out of town, is that we tend to run out of things, and honestly, I don't really love going to town. It's one of those things that I really dread. I'm sure that I could online order groceries to make my life a little bit easier, but usually I don't plan that far in advance. So that's just, my own personality. So on this particular day, we were running a little shy on groceries, and most of what we had was just ingredients to be able to cook or make stuff. And when you're in that, woe is me, I'm so hungry, I can't think straight, you don't really want to look in the fridge and look in the pantry and be like, great, now I have to cook, or now I have to bake something in order to feed myself, so that I can think clearly. Another fun aspect of my life is laundry, like I have mentioned. Now, with adding on responsibilities with this YouTube channel, finding pockets of time can be challenging. So, as you can see here, I actually have the laptop set up on the side of the couch so that I can fold laundry while I kind of proof watch one of the YouTube videos that I was about to publish. I try to edit in, again, small snippets of time that I have, but half the time I'm slightly distracted, or I'm answering a child's question, or I'm getting up and getting somebody a snack or a drink, or kissing somebody's owie, all of those things. And so I need to be able to go back and watch through a video to make sure that it actually all flows together and makes sense. So I often do a final proof watch while I'm folding laundry or even washing dishes. Multitasking ends up being my best friend. Thanks for watching this video.